My bad. I'm heading to work actually. Thought I'd go live and check in with you guys. I'm heading to work. I live in 48, North Dakota, man. It's like I don't know, like 64 miles from where I work. I work in Bismarck. If you guys haven't checked my channel, check that out. I usually post what I'm doing and where I'm going and whatnot. But I thought I'd go live. A little bit more consistency with my channel this year. Finally settled into the new life. If you didn't know, what I was about or who I was, started my journey from addiction, but anyway, we're back. Sorry, going through hills, losing. I live on a res, and I'm going up and down hills in North Dakota, and so I know the signal out here is really weak, but I'm taking my time. I'm going to work. My job is about an hour away. I was talking about the merchandise that I have. I do have some merch, but it's just getting going. I'm learning consistency of not getting overwhelmed, because my shirt guy, my merchandise guy does live out of state, and he works too, so he can do the merchandise on his time. But today, I was working at a treatment center. I was there for like a year and some change, and it was an hour drive from 48 to where I live. So that drive was it was a little bit more hectic from where I work in Bismarck. This drive, at least, it's a straight highway, but it's more of a straight shot, more safer, I believe. The other way, there was no signal, and if you break down, you break down. Good luck on somebody finding you, or let alone somebody coming out and picking you up and towing you. Me and my wife both own trucks, but even a truck gets stuck here in North Dakota, especially the back roads. But yeah, I'm heading to work. Just stay tuned for more videos, guys. I do have a speaker lined up for this Thursday. He's going to tell his story of recovery. Pretty cool cat, man. If you're watching, shout out to Pat. Pat's going to be on. It's pretty cool because now it's like I found an identity to my higher power. It's not so much as just a blank identity of a higher power. It's I actually follow certain religions now, and I'm not really I'm not really devoted to one religion. I'm slowly getting back into the cultural ways. I made a hand drum. I'm learning how to sing now. I'm listening to music as I drive. Like this drive for me, it's an hour and a half to my job. So I put on YouTube Premium, without the channel or without the commercials, and I listen to music. And if a native song comes on, I'll beat it on the dash and kind of learn how to do a little bit. I'm getting into that, so that's kind of cool. Never thought I'd ever do that. Growing up in res, just in the '90s, trying to be a '90s gangster, But now it's just I'm older and finally maturing, I think. I'm still that little 16-year-old, little 16, 17-year-old in a 48-year-old man, but I'll be 48 in June, but the mentality's still there, you know what I mean, just to be young. Slowly getting into lifting weights now, the physical well-being. For a while there, I was pushing 409 pounds, had surgery, weight loss surgery, had that done, and then I had 2 total hip replacements, and now I'm walking unaided. Before I was using a rolling walker and a cane, and at the same time I'm doing my steps of recovery, and I power in those steps, and now it's just have average old mediocre days where just things are just on a record, where the needle doesn't jump, needle doesn't skip, and I'm just cruising along. But I do have a wonderful job now. I'm dealing, and not so much as a different field. I'm still working in recovery. I work in a treatment center / sober living transitional housing with behavioral health. Shout out to MHA Sober Living and Good Road Recovery Center. Shout out to them. But the money is good. I definitely am satisfied now, from where I was this last, I think it was a year and a half ago. I was unemployed. I couldn't find a job, even though I was in recovery. Getting in my head, just constantly cleaning the house, applying for jobs, and just keeping my wheels on the road. But I found a job, and it was just thanks to prayer. It was thanks be to God that I did cover to get bored. I might as well smoke a doobie or have a beer or take a couple, off to the races again. And we don't know how to stop. I didn't know how to stop. I couldn't probably just take one puff or one sip, one shot. I gotta go for the gusto. But today it's a different story. So now it's just more about being physically fit. Working on my health now. Thank God that I don't have like diabetes or my heart goes out to people with diabetes and with chronic illnesses, and life is life. But today I'm able to walk around unaided. I'm able to go fishing now. Like I actually went fishing by myself this past I think it was I have Thursdays and Fridays off, so it's Friday. I was sitting around, nothing to do. I was like, man, I'm gonna go try to go fishing. There's still ice on the water here in North Dakota, but it's too cold for I mean, if you're out on a boat, maybe if you're out using jigs and live bait, you can probably catch some fish. But I wasn't out shore fishing, so I didn't catch nothing. But at least just to get out and enjoy the air, listen to nature, and just be able to take it all in. And man, I swear it was like dead quiet out there. I was out there by myself, and I just like almost went into a meditative state. I just started just enjoying life. It's like, oh man, peace, serenity. This is what I need. This is grounding. I meditate in the morning. I'll do the breathing technique. I breathe in good energy and exhale with the bad energy. That's how I start my day. Who knows what the day's gonna bring? Days can bring challenges that sometimes suck, man, but I'm able to get through it today. I thank God when I get home at night. I get home, I get off at midnight, and I drive this hour and a half home from work. There's a deer here. Might hit a Bigfoot. Hey, just kidding. Nah, I doubt I'll hit a Bigfoot. It's cool to see a Bigfoot, but I don't think I'll ever see a Bigfoot on this road. There's too much traffic. There's a casino on this road, so there's always traffic on this road. Heaven forbid, drunk drivers. They're out there. I used to drive drunk, so I know they're out there. It's scary. My dad passed away. He died when he was 21. He died in a head-on collision with another vehicle, and I was only 2, so I didn't know him. But just driving on these open roads, it's a chance that you take that your life can end at any time, but you must live life to the fullest. Some of us get in our head, and some of us get depressed, and some of us think we can't make it, but we can. Like when I tell my people, or when I speak at conferences or something, I tell them, just make the most of that day, just that day, one day only, man. That's all you need to do. I know sometimes it's probably hard. Sometimes you're thinking about that court day coming up. Sometimes you're thinking about a doctor's appointment, something that's coming up that's probably going to get you a little overwhelmed, a little stressed, but hey, that's all right, man. It's life. It could be worse. You could be you could be dead. You could be, just confined to a wheelchair or something. Don't get me wrong. People in wheelchairs probably, they do it too. Like you got it. It's life. God bestowed you the power of life, the power of prosperity, the power of getting over obstacles. But you got to be able to just achieve that and get over that hump in life, You got to. There's no sense in just sitting like a bump on a log, like they say, and just festering in your sorrows, your wallows. It's okay, man. Life is life, and you're gonna be okay. But for me, what helps me is I pray. thank you, God, for giving me those challenges today. At the end of the day, I pray to Him and I say that. Thank you for challenging me today, God. I needed that. I needed that to restore my batteries. And then sometimes us guys in recovery, or some guys, in depression or with mental problems, we think we're self-sabotaging. Oh shit's going too good, man. Something's about to happen. I even get like that when things are going too good, especially like when the bills are paid, feel good, and I'm sitting on my couch, and it's like, man, isn't life, just great? And I'm thinking, oh, something's bad about to happen. But I think that's just the balance of life, like where you gotta think, good and bad. It's kind of like the yin yang symbol. So, you gotta find that balance, man. Love it. But yeah, today's like my Tuesday, even though it's Sunday. I have Thursdays and Fridays off, so I'm looking forward to this work week. I'm gonna go deal with a couple of residents. We have 3 residents right now in behavioral health. It's an awesome job, man. I like helping them. The good guys, pretty good guys, man. But yeah, so just stay tuned for more videos. I'm actually reaching out right now, asking if people want to be on. And if not, I'll just record on my phone, because I do record on a GoPro, and I set up like a tripod and stuff. Do almost like the GoPro format. I mean what do you call that? Like what Joe Rogan has, podcast, like the podcast. The podcast without the microphones and the headphones, and we just kick it. We just kick it on the couch. I could probably just bring my phone and do a quick video or something. I like it, man. It's just my hobby, man. Like one of my hobbies. I like getting out that message of hope to people out there still struggling with addiction. Like there is a way out. I first started using when I was like 12, and I loved it. I loved getting mind altered. I loved that substance in my body, and I chased it. Finally sobered up when I was 43. I realized that I couldn't put that substance in my body no more. To get mind altered, there was a better way out there. There was a better way of life. And that's the life I chose today. I choose today. I love it, man. But I just thought I'd do a quick video with you guys. Thank you guys for subscribing. I see you guys out there. Merch drop is coming. If you're not friends with me on Facebook, it's the same format, Recovery Warrior. Check me out on Facebook. Friend me. I always put updates on there and put out little motivational quotes and whatnot. That help me. Hopefully it helps you guys. But the merch game is just now starting. I don't want to overwhelm my merchandise guys. So if you're watching, I got one order coming out this week, and then that second order I'll probably have out in another week or so. So hang in there, hang tight. Your orders are powwows. I'm gonna go vlog there, tuning my content. I'll probably go to a few recovery. The thing about going to conventions is there's traditions, I believe, principles that we don't promote. That's the really hard thing about going to conventions, is we don't promote on video, you know what I mean, or media. So it's really hard to shoot at conferences. If you check out my videos, I'll usually walk around and I'll ask people, how do you stay sober? Do you have a message of hope for the next addict and alcoholic recovery? Stuff like that. So I'm slowly picking and choosing which kind of conference I go to, because not all people want to be on camera, especially like when they're new to addiction. I know I still get a little not really shy or anything, but I get a little hey, don't put a camera in my face, unless you ask me, stuff like that. I've gotten that happen to me. I was walking around with my camera, and I'll actually, before I start recording, I'll ask, hey, do you want to be on camera? And they're like, yeah. And as soon as the camera starts rolling, they actually start getting comfortable, and they get more in tune with the words and what they're saying. But I'll try to do that this summer more and more. go out to conventions. I do want to go out to different communities and talk to people, you know, on the street and start this docu-series. Hopefully, I'm going to try this summer to start episode 1, probably around the Standing Rock Res. But I mean, I've noticed like Native Americans, like we're a prideful people, and we don't want to talk, and we don't want to, I don't know how to say it, we don't want to put our face on a crowd, you know, in an audience. It's kind of hard. I mean, even to get people, like in the little community I live in, Fort Yates, to get people to come and tell their story, it's so diverse and small. Not a lot of people want to do that. That's why the video consistency stopped for me. But they're still there, you know what I mean? I was living in Bismarck at Sober Living, and I would go to meetings and I'd, hey man, you want to tell your story of recovery? I'm kind of like a podcast. And they're like, yeah. So I set it up, and I was able to a video out a week, which actually helped my channel grow. So that's what I'm gonna do.